All K&S Society TALK Live episodes may contain subject matter that may be too mature for listeners under 18 years of age. If under 18 years of age, get your parents' or guardians' permission before listening. Also, views discussed on any K&S Society TALK Live show does not reflect our personal opinions or the opinions of our supporters. Thank you for listening to tonight's show.
It's your birthday today, Brandon. It's your birthday today, Brandon. Rock and roll and celebrate. Celebrate we will. Down and you cut the cake. Tonight is your destiny. Wait. Oh wait with me. Dance toast with your closest mates. It's your birthday today, Brandon. It's your birthday today, Brandon. Grab your goodie bag. Open your gifts. Blow out your candles. Brandon!
And that is how we do a birthday bash opening at K&S Society TALK Live for our co-host, Brandon Levesque.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck his name is. Now,
yeah, you almost got it right.
Tonight's show will contain subject matter because it is going to be a roast. And for you listeners out there, a roast really has no boundaries. We offend, we are rude, we are offensive, and that's what the show is about today. So show our appreciation for our co-host, Brandon.
Hey.
So, Brandon, how is it like having a show dedicated to you tonight?
Having a what?
How is it like having a show dedicated for you tonight? Would you listen now? Are you that friggin' old? You going deaf already?
Nah, man, it feels good, man. It feels good, you know. I'm actually pretty excited to hear what you fucking assholes got to say about me. So.
You got to be careful. We have a woman present.
Oh, oops.
Sure. Woman, but not. We didn't say lady, so we're good.
That's true. That's true. We have a woman present. I mean, I was going to talk today.
You'll join us the entire.
Okay, you go first, Michelle.
Brandon, are you going to join us for the entire show tonight?
I might. I don't know.
You got special permission to stay after that time?
Nah, I'm going to stay, man. I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Yeah, we have some special guests that's going to be calling in as well.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, I was going to stop, opening up the show talking about Brandon's sex life, but, I mean, we would run out of time in that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. But, Brandon, you are a great person. I mean, speaking of Brandon's sex life.
Oh, God.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything bad. I mean, I was just going to go ahead.
Let's hear it.
If Brandon went into a confessional booth with a young priest to confess his love life, by the time he got that priest would be dead of old age. I mean,
that's a good one.
I mean, Brandon gets. I don't want to go ahead and I don't want to talk bad about Brandon and his sex life. I mean, you do have a great girlfriend, and I think anyway. And if you are listening to Brandon's girlfriend, if you are listening, we do have a show that comes on Monday nights called Reach, where you can call in and talk about the depressed times you had with Brandon.
Oh, that's fucked.
But,
damn, that was demasculating.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Man, I ain't that
anyway, bad. So what's your plans for your birthday? Chuck E. Cheese?
Nah, man. No, I'm probably just going to hang home, man, just hang out with the family. I ain't doing nothing too crazy.
That's what happens. You're going to be, what, 45, 50?
Oh, man, that's fucked. Why, is that what I look? Is that what I look to you, Keith?
Oh, I don't. I'm just speculating here. I mean, by the time New Year's comes, all they have to do is just throw something on the ground. When Brandon picks it up, his balls will touch the ground. It'll be midnight.
Oh, no. This fucking guy. I'm going to be 23, man.
23 years old.
Yep.
Boy, that makes me feel old.
I have shoes older than you.
Oh, really?
I have a child older than you.
Oh, you don't. Do you really?
I do. My daughter's 26.
Hey, y'all making me feel like a baby right now.
You are a baby.
Michelle
baby
has
food.
Michelle has sex toys older than you, Brandon.
I think I actually do. I think I actually have one that's actually older than you.
That's got to change it. Got to change that one out.
Well, no, you just add to the collection.
There you go.
Speaking of sex toys, Brandon was dressed up as a cop on Halloween, and he saw a picture of me holding handcuffs. It wasn't Keith. Oh, nice picture. I was like, Keith, can I buy those handcuffs off you? He is a freak.
Are they fuzzy?
Anyway, so anyway,
handcuffs, were they pink and fuzzy?
No, I don't know what he wanted these handcuffs for, but he wanted them.
That is it's classified information, my friend.
So what are you hoping to get for your birthday? Besides some other textile.
Well, I mean that, and I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't really thought about it, actually.
And we will be joined pretty soon by Lucien, our other co-host. And he right now is, I almost said decomposed. He is he is not available at the moment, but he'll be joining us.
Taking his nap. Taking a nap.
Probably, yeah. Get it all out of your system, Lucien. And how are you doing, Michelle?
Well,
yeah, Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I went, the show started, I ran out to check on my dogs, and they managed to poop a pyramid. They had stacked up the poop. When they pooped, it like stacked up. It was pretty amazing. Like stacking
you should box
stones.
It up and yeah, box it up and send it to Brandon. Brandon likes that kind of shit.
Oh God.
Chihuahua poop, they're pooping art now. So I feel like I should like sell it.
Yeah, send me some shit in the mail, huh?
I'll send you some Chihuahua poo-poo art. Poo-poo art, yeah.
Sometimes
they like poop little happy faces and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the excitement to my day.
I'm gonna send Brandon a gift certificate to Dairy Queen. They're gonna be having the two girls doing a 2-girl 1 cup demonstration there.
Oh
he'll like
no! That. Oh no! Why'd you have to put that in my head?
I thought that was already in your head.
Oh gosh!
I thought that was in your computer.
How'd you know?
Probably is.
Saved.
I got it downloaded.
Favorites.
Oh yeah, save that shit. Literally.
So, anyway, to you listeners out there, you can go ahead and you can join in live and ask your questions and call in and wish this little bastard we have here as a co-host happy birthday. 914-338-1838 is the call-in number, and we're going to have a lot of great people on the show today, hopefully. And if not, Michelle would pay you to be on the show. No, don't take that literally. That was just a little advertising thing.
You can get a bunch of calls now.
914-338-1838. Give the call.
Where's that number go to, Michelle?
the number again for K&S
No,
Society
I mean, what
Talk
is
Live.
no? What is that number? Oh, you're giving us. I thought you were giving some 1-800 number. I'm sorry. You're just,
Our number. I was giving our number out. I wasn't giving like a 1-800 number. 1-800. 1-800. Put me in the booty or something. I don't know. Did you like that one? No,
So,
I think if anyone would love to have you call up, roast Brandon. Heck, you can roast me if you want to. The number again is 914-338-1838.
No, I think we should give a little birthday song to Brandon. What do you think, Brandon? You up for a little birthday song for you? I mean, I picked one out specifically for you.
Let's hear it.
It's for you.
It's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday, it's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday, it's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday. We are fucking psyched. You're 1 year older than you were before. You're 1 year older than you were before. You're 1 year older than you were before. We are fucking psyched. It wasn't so long ago. Your mom was in the hospital. What was she doing there? She was screaming. It's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday. It's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday. It's your birthday, yes, it is your birthday. We are fucking psyched. We are fucking psyched. We are fucking tight.
Hey.
There you go,
all day.
Brandon. Yes, we did. We worked hard. But
I like it. I like it.
Disclaimer. Good thing I said a disclaimer before the show because I mean that we are we're getting a little raunchy on this one.
Oh, you gotta fucking do it.
I'm not.
So Brandon, on your birthday, are you going to be going out anywhere like special besides spending with your family? You going to spend some time with yourself or by yourself with a thing of lube?
Oh yeah, plenty of it.
Yeah.
A whole lot of it.
Yeah. But we're also going to be joined later on by NC-17. Now that's a name that I think fits perfectly in today's show, NC-17. But no, Peter Aldan is going to be joining us later on as a call-in guest, and Peter is he's well known with his instrumental and music talent, writes his own music and such, and he's an awesome guy. And he's going to call in specifically for you, Brandon, because I know you love music as well.
Of course.
So, but
anyway,
I
love music.
Get back. Yes, and so tell us, are you doing anything new lately in the music business?
Yeah,
Writing?
actually, I'm gonna be going to the studio tomorrow and recording some songs. A couple new artists. That should be fun.
Yes, it will be. I mean, you have an awesome talent there. You use it. But
I appreciate it.
Now, when you go to the studio, are you pre-prepared or do you write it there? Whatever piece you're working on, do you write it there or do you have it already kind of pre-laid out in your mind what you're going to do?
I mean, it depends on the song. It also depends on like how I'm feeling in the day. Like sometimes I'll go with something written and then while I'm there something else. It kind of just depends on like what's coming to my head. You know, sometimes something will just hit me and I'll just want to write it down. Sometimes I'll go with stuff already pre-written.
Are you pre-written tomorrow or are you free flow?
I got a couple written already, but I'm gonna be I'm probably gonna write something on there as well, or try to. It can get a little distracting.
When you get a feel sometimes when you're in the studio for something new.
Do you like look out the window and do you see like things go by you, like a midget walking by and tripping and falling, and just write about him?
Yes. Boy, hell yeah! I'd write a whole song about that.
Can you freestyle something about Michelle's ordeal when she's seen the ship pyramid?
The what?
The poop.
Can you
pyramid.
freestyle? Can you freestyle? I mean, he says what? Can you freestyle? He's going to be the spokesman for Miracle here. Can you freestyle a song about Michelle's ordeal, about seeing that ship pyramid today?
Oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for that one. That's kind of a hard topic.
Oh, you just put him on the spot there.
I'm gonna freestyle about shit. I don't know if there's ever been a rap song in history that was made about shit.
Well, get used to it, Brandon. Pretty soon you'll be wearing Depends and you'll have plenty of it.
Oh God.
Hey, I'll make up songs when I'm listening to the radio and I'm cleaning up the dog poop. I'll start singing about poop. I'll make something up, but I can't really do it when someone spot on says, "Hey, sing about poop." So.
Oh, I thought you said soup. I was going to say, where the hell did you get soup from this conversation? You're saying poop.
Poop.
I haven't freestyled in a long time, man.
But
long time.
It has been a privilege to have you on this show. But I know Brandon for a few years. I mean, he's a great guy. To know him in life and to be his friend, it's an ordeal, or it could be a curse. You really don't know what to expect from Brandon. But one thing I can say, it has been one hell of a vibe being your friend, and I enjoy every minute of it. I mean, I know him outside of being a co-host here on the show, and I see a talent. He had a very talented father, and that's been passed down to him, and that's something that he's going to carry on and keep on and bringing his fans in that. And I see Brandon being a big person later on. Right now he's a short person, but I see him being a big person later on as the years go by.
Oh.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Keith, man. You're a good friend, too. You can be a fucking asshole sometimes, but I still love you.
And also, if you're on Viagra, Brandon is the spokesperson for Viagra for animals. So, I figure I'll give a little shout out there.
Oh my God!
And he's also going to be the spokesperson for K&S's Toys for Twats. That's going to be for the holiday season. For the Happy Homeless Hookers of Hickory, donating all your used sex toys to some good causes. We're trying to get the hookers some knee pads this year, and also get something warm in their stomach. Brandon's going to be the spokesperson about that as well. So, Brandon, we love you. We appreciate you, and thank you for being on board of K&S Society Talk Live.
Oh man, thank you for giving me this opportunity, bro. I appreciate all you guys.
You're welcome. You're fired now. No.
Fuck. I knew it was coming.
But anyway, so Michelle, besides ship pyramids, what else has been happening in the world today? Have you? We're not going to talk about basic news. We're going to talk about you, your life, and ordeals, and anything fun you want to share. And that's all Michelle has to say today. No.
I had a gentleman come into the place where I work today, and he just goes, "Can I use the bathroom?" And I'm like, "No, we don't have public restrooms." And he just kind of stared at me. And he looked at me funny, and then he said, "My sister was going to meet me here. She'll be here." And then he was looking at a tub, and I went to tell him about it, and he walked out of the store and into the Best Buy, probably to poop or something, because I wouldn't let him poop in my bathroom. But no sister ever came. There was no one in the parking lot literally all day. It was a Monday, It was like nobody was there. So this guy just literally walks into a random store and wants to, like, poop. Who does that?
That's a man who has to take a shit. That is a man who has to go to the bathroom right there.
If you walk into a showroom and you're going to be like, "Hey, can I poop in your bathroom?"
Well,
no.
Michelle, if I was walking by and I seen you standing in front of the window selling hot tubs, I would love to go in and say, "Hi, ma'am. How you doing today? Can I take a shit in your bathroom?" That is a warm welcome, Michelle. That's customer appreciation, Michelle.
Well, yeah,
Not your bathroom, then your hot tub.
after somebody broke a toilet, go, I'm just not doing it. I'm like, no, sorry. No, it's not happening. But yeah, he wasn't there to buy anything. He just was there to poop, and that's kind of gross. And I just don't understand the mentality of people that do that. Literally,
no, did he say
like
that? Did he say that specifically, or are you speculating that that's what he wanted to do? I mean, some people could look like they want to take a shit, and their face normally looks like that.
Yeah, he wanted to use the restroom, and well, he's a guy. Okay, if you really wanted to pee, you could go around the corner of the building and you could pee, correct? But if you've got to poop, you're going to go in somewhere. But why would you go to the hot tub store and not to the McDonald's that's across the parking lot?
Well, I guess, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I'll be looking for the nicest place possible to go in. If I want to take a shit, that's where I want to go. I'm really choosy on using the restrooms, public restrooms.
It was not happening, and then he interrupted me ordering my pizza. So that was like, really? I was ordering pizza. I wanted pizza, and he kind of like ruined the whole mood for pizza that I was in, because now I was thinking about was somebody breaking my toilet and having it overflowing shit all over the place, and so no.
That's exactly what you want to think about when you're eating pizza.
Yeah, poop. So like my whole day is like laced with poop. It's been poop all day. So. I'm like done. Yeah, so then the dog made a poop pyramid, and I'm just like, the cake topper to my day.
You had a shit day today.
Yes, I did. I had a shitty Monday.
So how was your day, Brandon? Anything fun?
It was good, and I went to a doctor's appointment. How fun is that?
Oh, you finally got that asshole checked. About time.
Yeah.
Do you still, when you walk over those grates and they blow that hot air out, do you still hear that sound whenever you walk by?
Sometimes.
Brandon has this.
Only sometimes.
Do you still have that? You still have that tube, that pipe stuck in your ass that you walk by and hear that echoing sound when the wind blows? Yeah. It's good that you're finally getting that checked out.
Oh my God, this fucking guy.
No, where'd you go? You have to go do a physical or something? We're live. There's just a bunch of listeners listening to us.
Yeah, right. No, I have to go speak to a psychiatrist about the crazy meds that they put me on.
Oh, well, that's good, especially near the holidays. That's something good to do.
Get real crazy around the holidays.
We do have a show on called Reach on Monday nights. You can always call in and be a guest. We could appreciate the call-in because last week we didn't have anyone.
Really?
No, we had a lot of listeners. We just didn't have no call-ins. We were just feeling around. Me and Michelle were feeling around, reaching out for each other, talking about our audios.
Round. Yeah. We were giving each other reach rounds. That's.
Hey.
Any of you listening out there, Reach is for you. The public is a wholesome show, an inspirational show. So I think we just threw that out the window today, speaking on this show. No. But no, you can call us and speak to me and Michelle on those shows on Mondays, and we do get some great listeners. But today's show, we're just relaxing. We are not in our ordinary K&S Society Talk live show. Usually we talk about entertainment and cinema, and we have special guests. But today, Brandon, you are our special guest because you are special.
Yes.
You're very special.
I love it. A little too special.
Now wipe that drool off your mouth.
I knew it. I fucking knew it was coming. I was just waiting for it. I was like, a little too nice right now. Oh, God.
I've got somebody who's listening, and I'd like to give a shout-out to Texas Dead Man. Give him a shout-out. He's listening. He has the Texas Dead Man website. It is www.texasdeadman.com.
Yes. Check out Texas Dead Man's site. Awesome guy, awesome site, and I'm sure he's listening. And we do want to give a shout out to
horror fans.
But speaking of Halloween, locally, I went to Kmart, and I got over $400 worth of Halloween stuff. I only spent $23. $23. That is less money than paying for a hooker on a Friday night. I paid $25.
You guys are blackout shopping.
Yes,
Imagine
I
all
do.
the hookers you could get with all those Halloween products.
I'm scared even to know what the hell you're talking about. You're telling me to go out there and give Halloween products to hookers?
Possibly. And they'll take anything they can get, right?
Excuse me, ma'am. How much is for all away? Would you take this Dracula mask?
And put it on while I get my shit off.
I got a wig. I had a wig. Yeah, that's
I'm going to wear the wig, though.
Did you get, like, houseware or, like, stuff to play with?
No, I bought props. I bought Halloween props. I mean, I'm not going to buy it. What the hell you think I am, Martha Stewart? I'm not going to go for damn housewares.
Like, my daughter decorates all year round in basically Halloween-themed things. So she stocks up at Halloween time.
Yeah, no, I buy props and everything. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy a friggin' bowl. What the hell am I going to do? Oh, God, look at this candy dish. Oh, my God, it's $2. I'm buying it. Oh, a shower curtain. What the?
Oh, I do that, though. I do that. My kid would do that. So we would be all excited and have to take pictures of it and send it to each other, too, and be like, oh, my God, look what I found for $2.
But no, we're on the theme of Halloween right now. We're talking about this briefly. I want to talk about next week's guest. We are going to have the one and only Madman Maz joining us, Paul Ehlers. If you have not seen that movie, it came out in the 1980s. It's a cult classic. It is great. It's a great horror film. We're going to be having a special on that with a lot of promos and such. And to have John Ellen, to have him on the show, it's going to be great. I mean, I call him John. I mean, it's going to be great. But what I meant to say was Paul Ehlers, and I call him John Ehlers. So now, if you're listening, Paul, I apologize. I don't know who the hell John Ehlers is. But Paul Ehlers is going to be on that show.
His birthday, though.
No, but have any of you seen Mad Men, the 1980s film?
Well, I think I have.
It's been a while. I have, but I know it's been a long time since I do want to watch it again.
None of you seen Mad Men. You just sitting there, you're babbling around. I asked if you've seen Mad Men. It's like, I'll see, maybe, you didn't see Mad Men.
Sure. You know, there's,
but no,
I remember
it's a
much
good
of the
film.
80s and probably the 90s.
I'll send you a link to watch it. It's a great film. It's one you'll like. It's if you like those old-fashioned cult classic horror films, Mad Men was it. And then we have joining us November 22nd. We have Rob Delario, who's going to be joining us. It's going to be a horror whole show. We're going to be doing the rise of the horror films from the 70s and 80s. And for those of you who know Rob Delario is from Rue Morgue magazine. We're going to be paying respect to all those horror actors we lost in those times that passed away, and the great things they brought us throughout those years. So that's going to be a very great special that's going to be coming on November 22nd. And November 29th, we're going to be having the one and only Terry McMinn, who is from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Tobe Hooper classic. She played Pam. She'll be joining us. And also Peter Aldan is going to be joining us on that show as well, NC-17, who will be on this show. He'll be joining us on that show as well. And December 6th, we're going to have Jack Schroeder, who Jack is a great film writer, producer, and director. And he did films like Alone in the Dark with Jack Palance, Martin Landau, and Donald Pleasance. If you haven't seen Alone in the Dark, that's another 80s classic, really good film. He also did Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Yeah. And he did Wishmaster 2. He did a lot of great films as well. He'll be joining us. And on the 13th, we have Todd Tucker. And Todd Tucker is a great special effects artist. He worked on films with special effects such as Geostorm, that new blockbuster that just hit theaters. the Pirates of the Caribbean series, and also he did films like The Smurfs. But he'll be talking about his newest film that's going to be coming up. And we'll also have a special guest host on that, which will be Scott Elman, Essman, who was a special guest. He was our guest actually several shows prior, where he talked about Jack Pierce and the movie Magics of the special effects. So we're looking forward to that. So we have a great lineup coming up. And all of that came from Michelle talking about Halloween. Go figure.
Yeah. I go with Halloween good.
But so Brandon, to get back
Yes.
to you little asshole.
Oh God.
Now, as you get older, you know you're gonna be facing a lot of ordeals in life, don't you? You're gonna stop pissing nonstop. Yeah, you always have to run to the bathroom, think get a shit, and nothing comes out, and then you walk out of the bathroom, there it goes. Erectile dysfunction, you have that problem. Anything would turn you on. You can see anything. I mean, a wind blow by you, and there you go. You have an erection. You'll be making noises that you don't really know where they're coming from, but yes, they're coming from you. Unexplained flatulence, that would happen. You'll be walking in, ordering a cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and farting. Know that, yeah. So, I mean, you see, you're heading into old age. I mean, you're 23 years old. It's going to fly by like nothing. When you reach 30 or 35, some people don't even want to use their penis no more. They're better off just taking it off and using it as a knick-knack on the shelf. But I mean,
knick-knack. Oh my God.
Brandon, just don't let any of this happen to you. I mean, I'm trying to give you advice to Don. I mean, I keep my libido up. I keep in shape. I keep focusing. I have a great drive. I mean, stimulation, everything. I have a great mindset. So you could take my advice and just go out there. Just go out there, enjoy yourself while you're young, and just stay on the right track. And also, if you find a woman, is your girlfriend, is she shorter than you are?
Almost everybody is shorter than I am.
That's good. That's good. Try to find someone waist level. You can use the head as an ashtray. I mean, that is always good. As an ashtray. I mean, me myself, I like to find a midget lady and settle down with her. I find them very attractive. Plus, they're handy around the house. You can walk around with them, put roller skates on them, and so yep, you can just do. I mean, and sex is great. You can use them as a little spin top, spin them around. I mean, there's many things you could do. So yeah, take my advice. Take the Don's advice. Go out there and enjoy life, and just be yourself and enjoy it. Now, Michelle, do you have any advice for Brandon?
Well, be very careful who you trust along life, but trust everybody. That makes any sense.
Trust everybody.
Trust everybody and everything, but don't trust them at the same time. Believe in yourself.
Keep your guard up.
Believe in yourself and go after your dreams. Don't go after somebody else's dreams that are dreams for you. Go after the ones that you want.
I'm supposed to be the inspirational one. I give him sex advice, and you're telling him to live your dreams and trust everyone.
I already gave him sex advice. What was I supposed to go from there? You know.
This is all really good advice.
Speaking of some other stuff.
Wrapped because child support is far more expensive than condoms.
Yes. Do you know that Brandon, when he goes and his type of Kama Sutra, Brandon, you know what Kama Sutra is, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Brandon's idea of Kama Sutra is throwing the twister board on the floor and just laying down and playing twister.
That's right.
Yep.
That's the only way.
Him and his girl just go and up, red on blue, up your arms in the back. I mean, they just go at it. They're like little rabbits. So, but but no, Brandon, you just keep going, staying positive, enjoying life, and just be happy and follow your dreams and just keep inspiring and doing your music. I mean, because your music, you're awesome at it and you're going to go far with it. So
I
keep
really
pushing forward with
appreciate
that. All right, and you owe me $20 for saying that on the year.
All right, yeah. I'll PayPal it to you, bro.
That sounds good. And you won't offend me with cash.
What?
So I said you won't offend me with cash, so you can put a little cash in an envelope also. But no, all serious aside, Brandon, your birthday's coming up the 15th. You will not be on the 15th show, so you will not be able to share the whole Madman experience with us. But so I want to give you a small taste of Madman with a very short Madman trailer to set the mood for next week.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Many strange things happen around here.
There is a tale.
It was a night like tonight, many years ago.
There is a legend.
If you say his name above a whisper, he'll get you.
There is a warning.
On certain nights, when the moon is full, he's out there stalking in the woods.
There is a madman.
His name is Mars. Mad Man Mars.
Mars! Madman Mars! Here we are! Come and get us, Madman!
Don't you realize you're fooling with things beyond your control?
Madman. There is no escape.
And Brandon, you'll be missing that show, which will be this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we have special guest Paul Ehlers, who played the legendary Madman Maz in the movie Madman. Also joining us would be Canadian professional wrestling promoter Mike Davidson. He's going to be talking about a huge wrestling event that's going on in Canada in late November with some huge stars. So it's going to be a great show this Wednesday. And Brandon, we're sorry you're going to have to miss it. And about
You never
birthday,
know. I might be able to pop in.
We're going international, really, because we're including another guest from another country, and you're going to miss it.
Yes,
Oh, huh?
actually, K&S is going international. We have a lot of great international stars that's going to be joining us in upcoming shows. And also, we're going to be broadcasting in the UK in one of their shows from a Canadian,
Really?
a UK brand of K&S Society Talks Live. So that's going to be interesting to see. And right now, we're going to be joined by the one and only Peter Aldan from NC-17.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey,
What's up,
how you
man?
Happy
doing?
birthday, Brandon. How old are you?
45. 45.
45?
Yep.
Oh, I thought
13.
you said happy
Younger
birthday.
than
I'm 20
53.
to 45 now. 23, man.
23. Wow, I remember when I was 23. Fuck. Feels like ages ago.
I feel old.
So what's up,
Starting to
guys?
feel old.
So you getting drunk
We're
tonight,
doing
Brandon,
good.
or what?
What was that?
Are you going to get fucked up tonight, drunk? What's up? What's the plans for tonight, man?
There ain't nothing for tonight. My birthday's actually on the 15th. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do actually.
Yeah, Brandon's probably
Nice.
just going to get naked and masturbate to the Muppet Show.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
probably that's probably
That's like
gonna
an
be what I
everyday occurrence for me.
do. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Nothing changes.
So, Peter, did you hear about next week's show of Paul Ehlers being a guest of Madman Maz? And you know cinema.
Of
And,
course, Madman Mars. How
what
could
is
forget
what
the
is
song,
your
the Madman Mars?
thoughts about that cult classic horror film?
To be honest with you, I first discovered the Madman film about 5 years ago. I was a little bit late to the hype train of it, but I knew it was a cult classic. It'd been re-released on DVD around that time. I thought I'd pick it up, and yeah, I was pretty impressed. It was well done. It was by standards slasher movie. But the thing that I remember the most about that movie is that fucking song, Madman Mars song. Like, at the end of the movie, that Madman Mars song is just, I don't know, man. It's just the one thing I remember the most about the movie.
We actually are going to be having that song next week when the Madman guest Peter Aldan will be joining us, so you listeners can hear the song yourself. But it is a song that once you hear, you remember it because it has that campfire theme to it.
100%. And then the ending of the movie is that guy, he's like, he's real.
And it cuts off. But also the possibilities, which I won't reveal all, but we might be talking about a Madman 2 coming up. And would that in the show as well.
That's crazy.
Yep. And we, as I say, these films from the 80s, a lot of people make remakes of them, and I don't agree. I think a lot of these films, if you made a sequel to them and bring the story back to life and continue on, it would also regenerate that older film, the classic film, that bring more popularity to it. So, like, for example, Buddy Cooper we're going to be working on The Mutilator 2, and Buddy Cooper is bringing that forward, and it's going to be a sequel when we push forward for that. So you'll be continuing on that story. So it's going to be interesting because then people want to watch the original Mutilator.
And if I'm not mistaken, Madman and Mutilator, they came out around the same time, like early 80s, like 81, 82.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I believe in sequels, man. Even with a lot of these reboots, I mean, the problem with these reboots, with a lot of these horror movies, a lot of these slashers that you've been seeing, My Bloody Valentine, and even the more popular ones like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's almost like when you do a reboot, you're almost like it's really hard for you not to compare it to the original. So for me, I'm always like more in favor for a sequel because at least a sequel, your hopes aren't so high and you don't find yourself as a viewer like constantly comparing the original to the remake. I'm much more in favor for like a sequel opposed to like a remake or films that just other slasher movies.
And no, I agree with that. See, I'm when it comes to my films, I'm old school. I love the original, and I really don't like to see anything tainted by the original. I'm not a big fan of remakes. The one remake I did enjoy though is, and I'm gonna take that away, is Black Christmas. I love the original. The original was still the best. But
Canadian movie,
I like the remake. I love the remake because it had a twist to it, and it brought more into the storyline. So if you're going to remake a film, I like that when they put a twist into it. But I'm really not a big fan of remakes, though.
That was the Bob Clark one, right? Black Christmas.
Yes.
Not Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes, Black Christmas. Yes.
No, Brandon. This show is aimed and dedicated to you. I'm going to give you a list of films, and I want you to tell me if you saw them or not. Okay? And I'm going to say original or remake. You just answer truthfully. All right, Halloween.
All right.
Start off simple.
Halloween. That original for sure. I mean, I guess it depends on the remake, but yeah, original. The original ones are the best.
No, and you saw the remake too, correct?
Yes, I've seen pretty much all of them.
Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street?
That's without a question.
All right. Night of the Living Dead?
The original was I mean, it's a classic, but I gotta say the remake.
Good answer.
Texas Chainsaw.
Once again, I gotta say the remake.
Did you see the original?
Yeah, I've seen that a long time ago, but yeah, I've seen the original. I just that the one that was released, I think in 2005. That is probably my favorite.
So you like the remake Texas Chainsaw better than the original?
Yeah, I gotta say I do.
Get the fuck off my show. No. I'm kidding.
It's just my opinion. I mean, I love the original. I love all the classics, man. But the one that was released in 2005. That one I've watched it like a few times. Like I just the grittiness of it and just I don't know what it is, man. Very well made. And then you got that drill sergeant guy in there playing the deputy. He like made the movie. I forgot his name, the actor, but
from Full Metal Jacket. I know you're talking about.
Have you guys seen the new Leatherface movie, by the way? Any of you guys? Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Oh yes, I saw the new Leatherface. Brandon, you saw that too.
Loved
didn't you?
it, man.
The new Leatherface.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
A lot of people have mixed reviews on. Michelle, did you watch that one yet?
Are you asking me, Leatherface?
Michelle, have you watched the new Leatherface movie?
Sorry.
Well, actually, I've been wanting to, but I have not actually sat down and done it. I've been looking for it on the Fire Stick, so waiting for a good version to come out.
Peter, what did you think about it? How was your opinion on it?
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was so refreshing because, I mean, how many times can you do the same film over and over again? I like the fact that they go back to, it's a prequel essentially, and it's basically covering Leatherface's life before, he was a murderer. And it poses the question, is madness, are you born mad, or is madness created by man? And it's just that one question that I just love throughout the movie. And there's just so many human elements that run throughout the movie. Like, if I was to compare the film to another film, it would be I would say Girl Interrupted meets One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Silence of the Lambs. It's a coming-of-age story.
Nice.
It's a horror film. I mean, it was just cleverly done, It was very cleverly done. Good performances by Brad Dourif and Lily Thompson. It was a legitimate, and if I'm not mistaken, the directors, they'd done the film Inside, which was a French film, I think came out in 2004 or 2005. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it was just well made, So, and it just goes to show when you have legit directors tackling the genre of horror, you're going to get a good product.
And my opinion on the film, and it's the same, which I like the film. I like the idea they introduce characters that you're familiar with by name in the original film with Drayton Sawyer, who was the cook, also the big older brother. You're introduced to Nublin, if I remember his name, Nublin, who was the hitchhiker.
Okay.
I might be pronouncing his name wrong. And he was in the film. He was without the spoilers, he was the gentleman which the cop went to at the end and told him where what the people at the farmyard. That was originally based on the hitchhiker from the original film. I like the idea they introduced Grandpa in his normal state before he was all decomposed and pale and everything. They showed him in a younger state. I was kind of confused at first seeing the trailers to the film because I thought the heavy set gentleman, the kid, was going to be Leatherface. I wasn't really sure who Leatherface was in the film, who was going to play that role. So it kind of threw me off. Now the film was really gritty, it was well done, but it reminded me of watching a Devil's Rejects type of film.
But did you feel and I'm sorry to cut you off, but did you feel like it was almost like a really sweet, all things aside, all the violence and the horror elements, did you not think it was a very sweet coming of age story as well? Like I thought there was a lot of likable elements,
especially the necrophiliac scene. That was coming of age. Yep.
Oh God!
But yeah, you asked a question, Brendan. I had to throw that in there. And those of you that watch that film, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, Peter, you asked the question.
How about continue on with the list? Is the list?
Yes,
we go
there's
through
a
all
list.
10?
And
let's hear it.
We're gonna get a little harder now and complicated. Now, Peter, you can, and Michelle, you can adjust with this list too. All right, Brendan, the Toolbox Murders, original or the remake?
The Toolbox Murders.
Wasn't a fan of both personally.
Toolbox Murders.
I've never heard of that.
I've
Peter,
actually never heard of that.
You have to be a fan of the original, especially that bathtub scene with picture this, you listeners, picture this. The lady's in the bathtub, and that's the longest bathtub masturbation scene ever in cinema that I ever seen in a horror film. And believe me, they show everything. They show no bubble bath is covering these spots. But I mean, she's going at it, and she's singing this song. She's singing. And all of a sudden in the background you hear hum, and the killer's humming. And here's the girl masturbating. She stops and she's like, what the hell is that noise? And he's in the bathroom with them humming before he kills her. That scene was classic. Wow. I was in hysterics. But it was a good film, the original, which it was kind of, it's cheesy. But the remake was actually made, the remake was actually done by Tobe Hooper. And that was really good. It actually spawned a sequel, which the sequel wasn't that great, but the remake was really good. Like Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. That's the one that they just released, isn't it? The remake was just released recently.
Not recently. That came out. What was it, Peter? About like maybe 4 years ago.
The original.
What movie am I thinking about?
No, the remake. The remake was released 4 years ago. The original came out in the 80s.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's a Charlie Kaufman movie. That's Trauma, right? Just remind me.
The original.
Yeah, Trauma.
Yeah, the original one was. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe I've seen the original. So I don't think I've seen the remake, so I'm going to go with the original.
And what about you, Michelle? Do you ever see it?
Yes, I will always pick the original over a remake any day because to me it's just being lazy to make the movie again when it's already been done. So I'm always going to pick the original. So I'll just save you asking me because I'll always pick that way.
And what about Martyrs? Original or remake?
Martyr. I think I might have only seen the remake, I believe, if it's the movie that I think you're talking about. I don't think I've seen the original, because the one that I saw was more recent, like in the 2000s.
Yeah, see,
so I'm gonna have to go with the remake.
I'm gonna let Pete head into this one. Pete, your opinion on these.
I personally would go with the original. And honestly, when I first saw the original, I think I saw the world premiere, actually. I was lucky enough to see the world premiere of it. It was at Toronto Film Festival. And I remember it was one of the last days. And I remember the director was just basically warning everybody before we went to see the movie, look, this is a really violent movie, get ready. And my fondest memory of the film was people were actually passing out in the cinema as I was watching it. Now, generally, I'm not one of those kind of people who are like, oh, wow, I'm not really into gore. I like good cinema. But I always felt like the French, especially in, like the European filmmakers, they really got the horror genre down, especially in the last decade. I mean, especially the French horror filmmakers. I feel like they really capture what the essence of horror is, and it's meant to be scary. And when I first saw Martyrs, I could be honest with you, I wasn't expecting the twist. I was grossed out, but it had like a very Clive Barker-ish feel to it. I don't know if you agree with me, especially the last 20 minutes of the movie. I don't want to give it away.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And when I saw Martyrs, the original, it is a film that sticks with you. When you leave the theater or watch it on DVD or Blu-ray, that original film sticks with you. It was so traumatic in ways, and it actually got so much not meaning, but makes you think about everything that happened.
The thing with Martyrs too is it's one of those films as well, and you see that with Darren Aronofsky's Mother as well. It's one of those films where either you love it or you hate it. There's not people in the middle who are like, well, I thought it was average. It's usually people who either really, really like it or really, really loathe it.
And what about you, Michelle? Have you ever seen? You saw Martyrs, right?
And the original.
And how about Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Silent Night? They're both it's the same movie, but it's a remake. Silent Night was a remake to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Brennan, what are your?
That is another one where I don't know if I've seen. You hit me with you. You making me feel dumb, man. I don't know. I really don't know, bro. I don't know if I saw that one. I think you know what?
We're not making you. We're not making you feel dumb. This is the whole point.
I've seen a lot. I thought I saw them all, man.
And, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Part of your
I'm going to start off on this one. Yeah, I'm going to start off on this one.
Silent. I think I saw the remake actually.
Yeah. See, Silent Night, Deadly Night. To me, I love both of them. That's one remake. I love both of them because they both weren't the same. They were remakes, but there was a lot more in the remake than there was in the older version. But the older one was done right as well, and it had some good scares. Now, the original Brandon was actually banned and protested when it was.
I remember that very well. I remember Inside Edition covering that. Actually, do you guys remember that show, Inside Edition?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a TMZ kind of show, and I remember mothers boycotting the film in the mid '80s. Very vividly.
It was good. And I recommend, Brennan, you do watch that one, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
A great film. And I'm looking. I'm gonna give a quick shout out here to Shout Factory, and I'm looking forward to their version coming out in December on Blu-ray. It's remastered. It's going to have so many special features, and it's going to have so many special guests on there. I mean, you're going to have. Robert Brian Wilson, who played Billy in the film. You never see an interview with him. You never seen anything with him since the film's release. It's like he just dropped out of sight, but he'll be on that the featurettes and such. And I'm looking forward to those special features on that film to see the behind the scenes of that. So, Brandon, I do recommend you watching that. Now, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Hey, hold on, I got one real quick before you. I heard yours, and I'm definitely gonna say the original Friday the 13th all day. Without a question, I think anybody can agree with that. Am I right? What about you guys, Peter?
I 100%. I think the remake is just, it doesn't even feel like a Friday the 13th movie. It just feels like a Hatchet movie.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I honestly, that is one of that. You know what? I'm not even going to say one of. That is my favorite, probably, period, classic horror movie that there is. Is the original Friday the 13th.
You know what?
It's just so campy and just perfect. They literally set the bar for campy slasher films. It just, you know what I mean? Whenever anybody thinks of any film like that, the first one that you're going to think of is the original Friday the 13th.
I agree with you. I love the original Friday the 13th, but most Friday the 13th fans that I meet prefer the sequels over the original. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the sequels. Well, because the sequels are where they started to bring the real iconic Jason in, with the hockey mask and they're all great. They're all amazing. Okay, but the original one, I don't know what it was about it. Just how it ended up being the mom, the whole, and it's anybody who hasn't seen that. If I'm ruining something for you, shame on you. You should go freaking watch it right now. But you know what I mean? It's I don't know, man. I just love it. I loved it.
That's what I like about it. It's actually a creepy movie.
Yeah, very well made for the time that it was made.
Now here's one.
Hey, hold on.
Oh.
I got one I want to talk about real quick because I want your opinions. Hold on one second. the original or the remake Evil Dead? Let's hear it. I want to, because they were both amazing.
Original. All the way original.
Original,
yeah,
all the way.
I'll go with the original too, for sure. But I thought the remake was great.
I thought the remake was shitty. I mean, you have to. Bruce Campbell is an icon in the whole Evil Dead realm.
Of course.
You can't
Army of Darkness, Evil Dead,
and have some chick basically playing that part and have it all different. I hated it. I watched it and I just was angry. I was mad. I'm sorry.
See, you know what made me
the entire planet.
You know what made me like it so much? I'll tell you what made me like it so much was just because of how ultra violent it was. I friggin' loved it.
You think it was?
We have someone joining us very quickly. I'm gonna have someone's gonna be joining us. So it might be Lucian. You're on the air.
You rang.
Oh,
hey, Lucian.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Thank you, Lucian. I appreciate it.
Does this mean you're old enough to buy liquor now?
What was that?
I said, does this mean you're old enough to buy liquor now?
Oh, that's fucked. I ain't that young.
But
speaking of your youth, I've been doing a little research on you, my friend. You know, and a lot of people go on.
Brandon or the other.
Yeah, people aspire to be great things in their life. You know, they like to go exotic places. You know, do great things. And you know, as a young boy, all Brandon wanted to do was be laid more often than discount carpeting.
You got jokes, huh?
Yeah, Brandon had a very confusing childhood. Seems like whenever he wanted to go and see Santa Claus at the department store at Christmas time, he kept bringing along a Playboy magazine for his wish list.
You got that right.
Yeah, when he reached puberty, he got so bad the crack of dawn wasn't safe.
This is starting.
Oh yeah, and I've got a note here from Harvey Weinstein. He says you're making him look bad.
You're mirror
that was good. That was good. That was a good one.
And I'm disappointed. I was told there'd be cake. Where's the cake?
No cake for you, man. It's already gone.
Yeah, Brandon's wearing it. He rubbed it all over his body.
Wearing it, yep. That's right.
Well, Lucia, we're talking about original and remake horror films because we're trying to. Well, Brandon's doing pretty good, but at his age, I mean, we're trying to fit him in here to see if he's caught up in the horror world. And we just got done talking about Evil Dead. We didn't get done talking about. We're still in the midst of it. And Peter, what were you saying about the remake or the original?
Well, my problem with the remake is it was just trying too hard to be ultra violent. And I understand the original was very violent, and the second one was almost like Three Stooges violence. Like it was almost like pure physical comedy. Especially Bruce Campbell. Like, I mean, he doesn't get enough credit for his performance in Evil Dead 2. His comedic timing is probably some of the best I've ever seen in my life. But going back,
and I think that's what makes the classic.
Yeah, I mean, but my biggest problem with the remake is it was just trying too hard to be ultra violent, where it kind of to the point where it almost lost the spirit of the original.
I agree.
There's a lot of my friends that like the remake. You know, I'm just one of those guys. I guess I'm one of those hardcore guys where whenever I see a remake, the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm trying to I'm trying to A and B it, you know, and then that's kind of not a fair way to go into a movie sometimes when you have that bias. But watching it, I'd watch it second time and third time before I kind of came up with my conclusion because, again, a lot of my friends loved it. And, again, I came up with the same conclusion where it felt like it was just trying to be too over the top to the point where it was like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, and you know, and you are right about that. Like, they kind of implicated a little too much violence into it, which I liked, to be honest. I don't know why. I love gory movies. I absolutely love them. I cherish them. But it did take a lot away from the movie itself. You know what I mean? And it like, I don't know. I just think one of the most iconic movie, like horror movie scenes from like recently is when she licks the blade. Like I've never seen any other movie do that. I don't think ever. When she licks it and her friggin' tongue splits out, it was just like, oh my, that was crazy.
I think that was on a porn at some point though.
You what? What was that?
I think that was in a porn before.
Oh God, Jesus! That must have been a very interesting porn.
The one thing that a lot of people seem to forget about, these original lower budget films versus the big budget remakes is the lower budgeted films had to work that much harder to entertain you because they had such a low budget and couldn't do these big, special effects and so on.
For sure. I'm in the mood to go watch Army of Darkness now.
Now, here's another film. Here's another film, My Bloody Valentine. The original or the remake?
I didn't like the remake at all.
Did you see the original?
Yes, a long time ago, but yeah, and I didn't. I remember I saw the remake when they made it, where he got that's the one where they're in the coal mines. He got the gas mask, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't really like the remake, to be honest.
Well, no, the original was actually the same thing, the coal miner and the gas mask. I like the original.
No, I was just making sure I had the same movie.
I like the original, watching it on the Blu-ray, which is out of print. If you can find it now, grab it. Because the original out of print version, you actually have all these scenes that were cut out of the original, and they were really graphic. And it really made a better movie. But
and that was a Paramount movie too, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, that was Paramount. Peter, you said you liked the remake, correct?
I like the remake, man. I don't know why. I think because I wasn't a big fan. You see, I tend to like remakes when I'm not a big fan of the original. Like, for example, Kubrick's Lolita. Wasn't a big fan of the original, but I love the remake. And this is kind of, and I don't want to like put parallels between Lolita and My Bloody Valentine, but I wasn't a big fan of the original, but the remake, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I was in a good mood when I watched it. I saw it in the theaters. I think it was right when that 3D boom came back in the mid-2000s, if I'm not mistaken. When did that come out? 2008? 2009?
That came out in
2008, I think.
And, 2007, 2008 it came out. And which I'm not interrupting, but it's about
really
that.
Cool in it. And I usually hate 3D.
To enjoy the 3D now at home, a lot of the TVs you can't buy them in 3D. But for those of you listening, if you have a PlayStation VR helmet, they did patch it. You could watch all your 3D movies on your PlayStation VR helmet in 3D.
Oh, what a good idea!
And my Bloody Valentine 3D I watched the other night, and I did enjoy it. So it is good. I like the original the best, but the remake is good in its own ways. It had a good story.
It's not that bad. And if I'm not mistaken, Keith, and again, refresh my memory, they're not exactly the same story, is it? Or is it frame by frame the same stuff?
They're not the same story. It actually has the same characters in some ways, but the story is a revision story. It's a whole reimagination story. Of how this director took the approach to it. I like the original because it fell into the realm of urban legend type storyline, and that's what I liked. I love those films that have a backstory behind them as they're going on. And that's what the original had. The remake has it as well, but they put a twist to it. What about you, Lucian and Michelle's opinion?
On what?
I'm
going to say the original.
I haven't seen the remake. Saw the original eons ago, back in what I call the before satellite era. It was on HBO late night, I think it was, back when they used to show horror films. And the original was just a very creepy movie, and like the scenes, in the mine shaft, for example, you almost got sort of that claustrophobic feeling to it. And this sort of harkens back to what I said a while ago about the lower budgeted older films having to work that much harder. I mean, they built an atmosphere, and if that atmosphere can just, if they can make you feel it, that plays into the overall scariness of the film so much better. And I've seen recent horror films that, perfect example, sort of harken back to our Halloween show, was The War of the Worlds, for example. There was the original film back in the 50s, and then there was the Steven Spielberg remake a couple years back with Tom Cruise,
which was awesome.
Well, that's definitely a matter of opinion. I mean, I'm going to dismiss, I'm going to take it to fact you're a punk kid, don't know what you're talking about. But, I mean, like where the original film, showed the destruction and, the alien ships firing lasers and so on. And the Spielberg film, I mean, there were, there was a scene where the landscape was literally awash in blood and gore. And, that's not so much, there's like awe-inspiring as an AWE and awe-inspiring as an kind of thing, so.
And what about this one? This one here is probably up, because Peter loves, and also Lucian, you like the cinematics of film. And this is one of my favorite ones. Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock's, or Disturbia.
Man, I can't go against Alfred Hitchcock in any case. I mean, Rear Window is a masterpiece.
Yep, exactly. And I agree. And I go with
and then the next guy who makes Hitchcockian films that are close to it, I would say De Palma. He's the only guy that can recreate that Hitchcock vibe very well.
Oh yeah,
his films from the 70s especially.
Yeah, I saw Rear Window when it was re-released in theaters back in the late 70s, I think it was.
Rear Window I watch constantly. It's one of my all-time favorite films. Brandon, what's your thoughts?
I've seen Disturbia. You guys are going to hate me. I don't think I've seen Rear Window. I don't think I have.
Yeah, Rear Window, Disturbia, a lot of people don't see it as being the remake, but it is a remake in sorts. The same plot line, but Rear Window, I give so much credit to Alfred Hitchcock for bringing that whole set. He had that set built, and it's the perspective of seeing it through someone's window, the outside world, a murder happening, a whodunit, investigation, all through a perspective of through that person's apartment building. It was done brilliantly. The cinematics were great. The story was great. And I don't know if you guys agree with me. It was just a brilliantly made film. And to answer Pete's question, about my favorite Alfred Hitchcock film, it's definitely number one, Rear Window, and number two is I have to say Psycho, which has another remake to it as well. Psycho and Rear Window are my favorites.
And the thing with Rear Window, a lot of people forget, it was shot in 1954. That was. Mm-hmm. It was so ahead of its time in sense of filmmaking, screenwriting, film pacing, editing. I mean, it truly is one of the better psychological horror thrillers that I've ever seen in my life. I would say maybe one of the best Hitchcock movies next to that Psycho. But people forget, too, Psycho is the original slasher movie. The original systematic
for sure.
killing of people. That's the original slasher movie. A lot of people will say Bad Blood, right? And then some people will say, okay, Halloween. But the original slasher movie is Psycho.
It is. You're right.
Yep, it is. And Brandon, did you see the remake to Psycho?
What?
The TV show that they did, Bates Motel, that was done very well.
Yeah, I love that show.
I agree with you, Michelle. Very well done.
I may go out on the limb here.
They had that suspense and that draw, even though it was weekly, so you had suspense each week on something, but and you know where the story eventually goes to. But how they did it, I just thought was absolutely brilliant. That to me, it was longer than you could really do a movie. So to do it by a TV show was the best way to do it, and it was done well.
I may be kicked off your show, but I love Psycho 2. Love it.
Yeah, well, Psycho 2. You're not taking off the show. Psycho 2 actually, it goes. If you haven't seen Psycho 2, to my opinion, I don't want to say I hate to say better than the original, but it is better than the original.
It's up there, man. And it's directed by Tom Holland. If I'm not, was it Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yes, Tom Holland, a brilliant director, great director. He directed films like Fright Night, the original, and also The Beast Within, another one of my favorites. Child's Play,
Do you remember
the original Child's
Beast
Play.
Within? Do you remember the warning for Beast Within? Like on the VHS cover, it would be like, if you can last more than 15 minutes of this movie, or without vomiting or something like that, and it was one of the reasons I rented it.
That was great. But to go back where we were with, we went into Rear Window, now we're into Psycho. Lucian, what's your opinion? The original or the remake of Psycho?
Oh, as far as Psycho, the remake was just. I think it could be compared to like sort of a lame bar band doing a cover of a classic rock song. It's like you know what to expect, but it's just not as good as the original. I mean, they did literally a shot-by-shot remake.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it just wasn't ringing true. Yeah.
Yeah. People forget that it was literally a shot-by-shot remake of the original in color.
Yep, and I mean, I do give them credit for holding up that value and doing it shot by shot, especially the time frame difference, being in 50s and then being in was it 1999, 2000? It was 1999, I believe, or 2000. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit later.
It was like late 90s, like 97, I think.
Yeah. Okay. But to do that time span difference, to keep everything shot to shot and everything, and the sets and so forth, they did a pretty good job keeping up with that. But the film, the original, blows it away. I mean, I could not get into the remake. I could not just get into it.
And you know what's weird about that one is it was directed by Gus Van Sant, which is like he did My Private Idaho, even Cowgirls Get the Blues. So he's a pretty legit director. I was surprised that he took that one on, to be honest.
And here's another film, When a Stranger Calls, remake or the original. My opinion, I love the original. I watched that several times. I thought Carol Kane was brilliant. Darren Harry was brilliant. I think the storyline was well done. I love the scenario, the music score. It was moving. I mean, I love the original.
Yeah, I got to go with you on that one.
It's funny you mentioned that movie because I have a DVD double feature, and it was my wife's birthday over the weekend, and it was Happy Birthday to Me with When a Stranger Calls. So we watched Happy Birthday to Me because it was my wife's birthday, and then when she passed out, I watched When a Stranger Calls, and I was, it had its moments. The original, the remake I've never seen. I won't lie, I've never seen the remake, but the original has its moments. I like the original.
What about you, Lucian and Michelle?
Yeah, I saw the original way back when, and it was almost a variation on one of those old sort of urban legend kind of stories. I'm sure we've heard it, like the killer's in the house sort of thing, and I mean it worked very well in that respect. Again, it gets back to what I said about setting the mood of the film. Sort of the almost the sense of paranoia. If you hear a door creak or whatever, like is that the killer? That sort of thing. I don't think I've seen the remake. I don't think so.
Same.
What about you, Michelle?
I don't think I saw either of them.
The one scene at the end when she hears the noise, this is the original, And she gets up, she's investigating in that because she gets the call saying, have you checked the children? It's been years later. She freaks out. She goes home. She calms down. Now, in the beginning of the film, if you haven't, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was kind of brutal. And it's based on an urban legend that took place in the urban legend stories. But at the end of this film, when she hears that voice and she's looking at that closet and she thinks he's in the closet, and come to find out he's right next to her in bed and she thought it was her husband, and her husband was in the closet, knocked out. That part was freaky. It was done really well. And
Can you
then
imagine?
you have John Carpenter's The Fog facing the Fog remake. Your thoughts?
I think one of the greatest opening shots in horror film history has to be that segment at the very beginning of the film. We have John Houseman playing the old lighthouse keeper, who is telling the story of the sinking of the ship to that group of kids gathered around that campfire on the beach. That is I mean, that is an Oscar-winning worthy segment in and of itself, if you ask me. And again, the mood, there's build-up. Carpenter, there's the various paranormal activities that happen, which eventually lead up to the big, big payoff in the story, as it were. And the film was fantastic from beginning to end. I mean, Carpenter was, at the top of his game on that one. As for the remake, I tried watching it, and I just could not get into it. I mean, I forget the name of the actor, but the male lead, was played Superman in Smallville, if you remember that TV series.
Yes.
And, it was just too sort of a flavor of the month kind of deal as far as the cast goes. And let's not forget, Adrienne Barbeau is the late night DJ.
Yes, and then you had Janet Leigh was in that one. Jim Lee Curtis's mom, Janet Leigh from Psycho. The casting was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hal Holbrook, yeah, it was another one.
Yep.
Also, it had a very creepy, atmospheric vibe to it. And that's very Carpenter. I mean, he's known for his scores. But this is the follow-up to Halloween. I mean, I think Halloween, what was it, 78? And then The Fog was 81 or 82 or something like that?
Yeah, I
would honestly, I would have to go with the original. I think it's one of the more underrated horror films, to be honest with you. And it does have a big fan following. But there's just certain elements, like Lucien was saying, there's just some elements that are just good cinema in it. And the remake, it just totally, what makes the original so good, I think is totally lost with the remake. And then it goes back to for Halloween. Like Halloween, the original compared to the remake, I much prefer the original because the original it's inspired by Hitchcock, it's inspired by other forms of cinema and other filmmakers, while the remake is really just inspired by Rob Zombie. All the subtleties of the original, are absolutely lost with the remake, and that's kind of how I feel with The Fog. All the subtleties and what made the original Fog so effective was kind of lost with this remake, personally.
Yep. Hey, I want to talk about one movie real quick. I'm not sure. I think this might have been a remake. I'm not sure, but if this wasn't a remake, I think that they should remake it eventually. And I still to this day think this was, and like you guys said, with atmosphere and setting, I still to this day think this is probably one of the creepiest, actually have me seriously scared movies that I've seen probably so far in my life. Have you guys ever seen Strangers?
Yes.
I fucking thought that was an amazing movie. I thought that movie was so well done. The atmosphere, everything about it just scared the shit out of me.
Do you know why that was so effective? It's because it feels real.
It feels so real. It was so well done, made, and how they didn't really. The reason why, another thing reason why I like that movie is because they didn't really have a lot of like background music to it. Like a lot of the scariest parts, it was just silent. Like there was no music playing in the background. There was no, you know what I'm saying? Like I just thought it was so well done.
And I think that sometimes, and you look at a lot of the films from the 50s and the 60s, you see a lot of films with just a lot of just silence where the actors are moving the film. A lot of films today, it's almost like every scene has to have a piece of score happening. They can't just like let real life happen.
Yeah, and I think it takes away from it almost because there's no way of building suspense like silence.
What's your takes on that, Lucien and Michelle?
I agree, yeah, because again, if you go back to some of the classic horror films, say like of the 40s, you'd have moments where it'd just be dead silence, and there wouldn't be any background music, and then all of a sudden you might hear a creak on the floorboard, and that creak, just that lone creak of a floorboard would go and let you know something is about to happen. Whereas to use a more recent classic, the original Jaws, you had that John Williams music cue going, dun 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 dun, and you knew something was going to happen any second. Whereas in those moments of silence, where it's just you and the crunching of your popcorn, just there in the theater, you could hear a pin drop. Yeah. I mean, Psycho had its moments too, the original Psycho, in that there would be moments of quiet, which, would be just, is equally as jarring as what was going to happen next.
But I almost feel like scores sometimes, like this is kind of an interesting topic. It's almost telling you, okay, let's get ready. Like, and you find this a lot with like, let's step away from horror for a second, but comedy. Comedy does this too. It's almost like, okay, let's put on that zany music so we can let the audience know this is the time to laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, if you want to.
Well, the Laurel and Hardy is a great example.
The original art of building suspense, by doing it with mood, by having no sound, by doing it with music.
Exactly.
There are ways to create that suspense without having to resort to just blood and gore all the time. And I always prefer movies that have that more suspense to them rather than just flat out butchering everybody else. Well, even though that's fun, but it's different,
And it feels real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's something that, oh my God, this could actually happen.
Now, just for your listeners to know, we will be going off the air in about 90 seconds, but we're going to be resuming with the topic for an extra 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So when you tune in to our recap, you'll be listening to the whole show entirely. But we're going to go into what you said, The Strangers, and we're going to jump into the original home invasion movie, which I think, and that is Last House on the Left, the remake or the original. I love the original.
Didn't see the original.
Personally, I go with the original, but that one's always a tough one for me to watch because it goes into that Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer category where I love it. I think it's a masterpiece. But it's one of those films that, man, after you're done watching it, you feel like having a shower afterwards. Like, it is just a very disturbing movie. I love it. I think it's a masterpiece, but it's one of those films that I have to kind of like, I'll watch every decade because I have to kind of get the nerves to watch it. And that says a lot, man. It's that effective.
When you see that movie and you watch the part when they literally got the girl's friend in front of her, and it follows up with the rape, and it is just so, like he was saying, it's so horrifying because you're watching it and it was shot at that time. It was like so realistic, and it was so brutal, and it was sad, and you really felt sympathetic for those actors, those victims in the film. But when I bring that to like a home invasion type film, it actually trespasses against your privacy. Two girls just having fun, they get drugged to this house, thinking they're going to buy pot, and they get held hostage and brutalized through the whole film. And it's just horrifying just to watch.
There's also in the film is like what makes it so effective is what we were talking about earlier. There's a human element to it that gives it a very real feel to it. And I think films like Last House on the Left, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, these films are very, even though they're very disturbing and some may see it as exploitation, these films are very important in the horror genre because it shows you, wait a second, when you kill someone, it's not glamorous. It's not supposed to look cool. Getting murdered or killed or raped, it's not something that looks pretty. And I think it's these kind of films, even though they're not the most easiest films to watch at times, and there's a lot of people who would just, consider it trash, I think films like that are very important, especially for the genre and just in filmmaking in general. Like, I think House on the Left is not just a good horror film, it's a good film.
Yeah, to get on a totally different genre, if you've ever seen the Clint Eastwood movie Unforgiven, we're so used to seeing the westerns. We're so used to seeing the westerns where, like, if somebody's in a gunfight or whatever, bang, the person drops down dead or whatever, and it's over with in a matter of seconds. There's a scene where Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman are holed up, like, this little valley or whatever, and these bounty hunters are trying to kill him. And they wind up shooting one of the bounty hunters. And this guy gets wounded, and it's a long, drawn-out thing. He's wailing, crying, and it takes him hours before he finally dies. And, that's incredibly realistic because the movie sort of took away all of the old, shall we say, stereotypes that we had about movie westerns in that, it's like, bang, you're dead. And in this case,
it's fall down on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Michelle? Is there a remake in the original that we haven't spoke about that you enjoyed?
I'm a big proponent of the original over remake in almost every case because I just I think I like the classic versions better. I'm really kind of stuck on liking to see something time. I don't like to watch it really done again. I'm always going to nitpick and I'm always going to compare. And I might, even if the original version is more campy of something, I'm really just going to like that better. It's kind of just how I'm wired, I guess.
And then there's one of the movies that kind of relates to Last House on the Left was I Spit on Your Grave. There's the remake and then there's the original, which once again falls into that original all the way, because I thought it was more hardcore, grindhouse, realistic feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, I like I Spit on Your Grave. It's another one that's kind of disturbing, and it has a very big following with feminist groups and stuff, and I do like it. I don't like the remake. I'm not a fan of the remake. I think it's terrible. But the original is good. It's good. I don't put it on the same category as Last House on the Left. And a lot of people forget Sean Cunningham produced Last House on the Left, Friday the 13th thing. But I don't put it on the same level as Last House on the Left. It does have its moments. But definitely the original over the remake. I'm not a fan of the remake at all.
And I agree with you there. And Michelle, like you said, the originals all the way. Remakes, I like certain ones, like we talked about, My Bloody Valentine, Silent Night. Those are remakes I really like. Black Christmas. Those are remakes I can go with because they add to the film. They don't subtract from the film. One of the films I saw recently, which I hated the remake over the original, was Flatliners. I love the original Flatliners, I like the acting. I like the actors involved, but I hated the remake.
It's such a strange movie to remake, no? Like, I mean, it was a good movie. I'm not taking anything away from it. And it was, who directed it again? The same guy who did Batman. I forget his name. Anyways, I liked the original with Kiefer Sutherland, but I didn't think it was, and it was a good movie, but I never, like, if you asked me of 100 movies that would have been remade, I would have never saw that movie being remade for some reason, for some odd reason.
And another one I wasn't that fond of the remake was Poltergeist. I love the original Steven Spielberg, Tobe Hooper classic. I did not like the remake at all.
I wouldn't even bother with the remake, man.
And so, Michelle, I think you can agree with me on that. I know you saw both of them. You saw the original and the remake, Michelle. You had to. And you probably agree with me on that.
Yes, but I mean, for every time, I'm just, the original is just usually better. There's always some point or part about it that is going to be, to me, more potent and make.
Poltergeist took so much out of the essence of the film. The remake did. The original had all these effects. Back in the day, they did them. The rotating room, the practical effects, the ghosts, the scares, the
original
acting.
I think that made me afraid of clowns and dolls.
I'm still scared of clowns.
I saw that movie and I'm afraid of dolls. I was afraid of clowns. I wanted nothing to do with dolls and nothing to do with clowns. At that point in my life, I was done. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So that it had a super effect on your psyche. It was a very good movie. But I'll still watch it every time it's on.
And plus, it was PG-13. But the original was PG-13 too. But the original was much better. Much better.
But that goes to show you don't need a hard R to make a good to make a frightening film. You don't need intensive gore or a strong hard R rating to make a film scary. Poltergeist is a great example of it. I mean, I'm still scared of clowns. I'm still scared of dolls to this day. Like when I look at dolls, I'm like, gonna blink any moment. Like its eyes are gonna blink.
That's the only one.
Well, I mean, you look at the actors you had in the original with Craig T. Nelson and Jabeth Williams, but you have to throw in to Heather O'Rourke, who passed away shortly after the third film. But she was just that. No. Heather O'Rourke died of a sickness, an illness. The one that was murdered was Dominique Dudon was murdered. She played the older sister. She was murdered. Yeah, but you cannot have a Poltergeist film remake. The remake has to follow up. They have to have a character like Zelda Rubinstein portrayed. Zelda Rubinstein was awesome in Poltergeist, and that was another one the sequel lived up to with the original was Poltergeist.
You see, the only time I think remakes are warranted is when if you're tackling a subject that at the time when you were filming it, you were limited, like Lolita. That's the one I always go to for good remakes, because in the 1950s or 60s, early 60s rather, there was a lot of stuff that you just could not discuss in films quite yet that in the late 90s you were able to tackle. And a lot of these horror films that we're mentioning, like Poltergeist, Evil Dead, Halloween, and so on, these films are perfect movies. They should not be touched or remade. If anything, make a sequel, try to do something original, and try to spawn up or pay homage to it, like Conjuring. Conjuring is a great example of a series that is paying homage to those 80s supernatural house movies.
Now, with the closing of this topic of remakes versus originals, I want to bring up one last film, and that was It. Stephen King's It. The remake or the original?
I'll start with this one, and I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen the remake, but I will say this. The reason I would probably say there's hope with the remake was because the original was a TV movie. So again, you're limited with a lot of topics that you can't deal with. Also, the original was shot in a very TV style editing pace, right? While this remake, you can keep it more cinematic, right? So I haven't seen the remake, but I have a lot of high hopes for it.
And Michelle, did you see the remake?
The original, I've not seen the remake. You know, it's clowns, so I kind of I try to limit my clown intake. And I've been watching it on American Horror Story, so that's like my clown intake right now. I can't do too many clown things because of Poltergeist.
See, I want to
everybody
say,
you know is scared of clowns. Let's be honest. Like, do anybody find clowns amusing? Like,
I love clowns. I'm a big fan of clown horror films.
You're fucking
I did. I liked Clown House. I liked It. Clown Murders. You throw a clown in as a killer, I watch it. No, to me, I don't think it's creepy. I think it's a way. I think a clown is the best villain in a horror film, in anything, because it deceives you. You see a clown, you think happy. You watch a clown in a cinematic role of so sinister, you're deceived, and it still has a smile on its face as it's killing you, as it's haunting you.
I think every clown is sinister.
But my opinion of the remake versus the old It, I loved the remake. I thought it was well done. I thought the scenes connected with, as the original did, followed step by step, added a lot to it. The kids were brilliant. But when it comes to Pennywise, I am not going to say one's better than the other because they brought both of them. Bill Skarsgård and Tim Curry brought excellent presence as Pennywise the Clown. But Tim Curry's character was more talkative, more interactive, comedic, and yet sinister, where he had that smile and he dropped it to that evil grin, in which Bill, his character, was more pure evil. I mean, he wanted to kill, and he made it known he wanted to kill. So both films I really appreciated and I liked. I'm happy that it's cinematic and it's in the cinemas because I know they're going to do great in the with the sequel because of the effects they can do. I did not like the second half of the TV version at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you too. Like, I think the second half of the TV version is just feels like a bad TV movie.
Now, we are facing our end on this episode, but I want to say we are going to have Peter Aldan back on the November 29th show, as he'll be joining us with Terry McGinn from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, who played Pam, which I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have a lot of great things to talk about. Also, once again, next week, we're going to have Paul Ehlers, who played Madman Maz, be joining us. And November 22nd, we'll have Bob Delario from Rue Morgue magazine joining us, and it's going to be a whole show, which is the topic will be horror in the 70s and 80s, and also we'll be paying respect to the actors and actresses who passed away through those times. So, P, if you want to join us on that show, it'll be a great show for you because you are like an encyclopedia when it comes to cinema. But
thank you, brother.
One of the shows we're looking forward to is December 6th with Jack Schroeder, which Jack Schroeder, I'm interested in having him as a guest because he wrote, directed, and produced the film, 1980s film, Alone in the Dark. Not the one with Christian Slater. This is the Alone in the Dark, the original, with Jack Palance, Martin Landau, and Donald Pleasance. 3 legendary actors on the screen together in Alone in the Dark, the original, which if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It was awesome. But, Peter, it was great having you on board. But I want to give a personal shout out.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome. But Brandon got disconnected, and I wanted to give a shout out. See, Brandon, as I was opening the show, I discussed I'm sorry, what was that?
I was going to say Lucian went to put Brandon to bed.
Yeah, Lucian went to put Brandon to bed.
Past bedtime.
Bedtime. But the thing is Brandon, this show was dedicated to you in many ways. And the reason why we entwined these remakes with horror and originals, to give you the benefit to see through your life that sometimes you have to pay homage to what came before to really go on in the future. These films of the remakes would never be, possibly, if it wasn't for the classics, the originals that paved their way, in which all your talents and all you do in life have to do the same thing. You have to pay that respect to the people that helped pave your way. Like your father helped you with music, and he was your inspiration, and you're awesome at it. Brendan is awesome with his music. And I wanted to share that you're one of my best friends, and I appreciate you. And this show was all about you, Brendan. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And Pete is also into great music as well. And maybe when you're on the 29th show, you can share with us a couple of your past experiences with you in the music business as well. So it'll be a great collaboration on a lot of different things.
Definitely, man.
So, Pete, we look forward to having you again. And like I say, we'll have you on the 22nd show as well with Rob Delario, and you'll be a special guest host. It's going to be a show it's going to be a show based all upon the horror rise of the 70s and 80s. We'll be discussing many topics with horror films and films in general, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So for all your listeners out there, Brendan, happy birthday. But all your listeners, thank you for tuning in, and have a great evening, everyone. And once again, happy birthday. What an appropriate song, right, Michelle?
Perfect.
Yep. And happy birthday, Brandon. He's going to be 55 years old Wednesday. Michelle, you can cut in now and you can say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Brandon. I know you're probably in bed right now, so when you listen to this tomorrow after your nap, have a wonderful birthday.
We love you, Brandon. And here's the official closing of the show dedicated to Brandon.